Hey guys, so for this video I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm actually going to be doing a book review of Identity Crisis by Brad Meltzer. If you don't know, Identity Crisis is a comic from, I think it's 2004, which is a surprise to me because it feels it feels like it should be from like the 70s or something, because I remember reading it as a kid and it kind of stuck with me, you know, till today. It was one of those comics. Hey, stop it, get out of there, come here, Harry, come here, get out, nope, go on. So it's one of those comics I read growing up, and it stuck with me more than pretty much any of the other comics. And, you know, I decided to do a reread of it to see if it kind of held up in my mind, or if I like it now. So, yeah, so let's just get started. So, if I glance over here because, I have my notes. Yeah, the kind of isn't very, the introduction is by Whedon, so this is already knocks down this book in the peg for me, but, you know, at least we didn't know all the shit that came out about Whedon, although he did have some shit he did on, Buffy set. So the fact that he still was allowed to goddamn be involved in a lot of fucking comics just pisses me the fuck off. But let's kind of get to the actual book. So it pretty much starts out, well, eventually, premise is pretty much the wife of one of the most beloved superheroes, Plastic Man. No, sorry. Elongated Man. I can get those two confused all the time. His wife, I believe her name's Sue, and I think, anyways, she is killed, and they are trying to figure out who killed his wife, the elongated man's wife. And so after his wife is killed, they start getting paranoid about other members, family members, loved ones of these heroes being targeted, and so they literally go on a frenzy going after all these superheroes that might be responsible for her death, because she appeared to have been burned at first. And so they go after all the villains that have, you know, fire powers. And then, you know, it starts getting more and more intense because other members are being targeted. Adam's ex-wife is targeted and she ends up surviving. They try to choke her. And then Robin's father ends up dying. And so, yeah, it's pretty much just a hunt trying to figure out who is responsible for all this. Then it flashes, throughout the book, it flashes back to an event that happened earlier in the past. So apparently, the victim, Sue, yeah, so goes back to this time when Sue was alone on the Justice League station when Dr. Light, one of the villains, appears on there, and he sexually assaults her. And then other members of the Justice League, some of the what is it? What's a word? Not the main Justice League, the, I don't know, backups, I forget what they call them. Eerie, stop. They come back in time to see him assaulting her, and so, and this is told throughout the book. It's revealed later on in bits and pieces. they decide that they are going to do essentially a lobotomy, I guess. They want to try to change his personality to stop him from doing this again. Because let's be honest, the moron decides to, hey, I'm gonna fucking do this to your loved ones. I'm gonna find them. I'm gonna do the exact same thing. Probably not what you want to do if you're in a situation where a bunch of heroes are trying to detain you for hurting someone they care about. Probably don't fucking make them mad enough to do this. And so they end up doing this lobotomy on him, and it does end up changing his personality to the point that people start commenting on how he's changed, he's different, he's slower. I mean, it's just kind of revealed throughout the book, but I'm just gonna talk about it now since I'm talking about it. Batman ends up showing up, and he happens to show up when he's sexually assaulting her. He was there with when that happened, and they were detaining him, but he ended up leaving, and that's when these other characters, who it's revealed that they've lost loved ones to villains who found out who they were and targeted them, and so they've decided to go after this villain who had targeted someone they cared about, try to not only erase his memory, but actually change his personality to prevent him from doing this again. Batman ends up coming back, and one of the things that bothered me about this book is that he didn't seem too bothered by the fact that Dr. Light had sexually assaulted Sue. But when they find out that they're like lobotomizing him, he goes in a rage and they end up having to wipe his memory, which, I don't know, just the fact that he went into a rage more when they were fucking doing something to the villain than he did with the villain was doing something to Sue, just kind of annoys me. It kind of continues to reinforce this whole stereotype of Batman as this like goody two shoes, and it kind of annoys me. But anyways, like I said, it's revealed that they've actually been doing this a while. They've gone after villains that have figured out the identities of heroes and have wiped their memories because they have lost loved ones to villains who find out who they are and target their loved ones. And it turns out Dr. Light kind of has a sense when he all the villains are figuring out that the heroes are going after him, so he ends up hiring Deathstroke to protect him. And this is also something else that annoyed the shit out of me. So the characters that show up, kind of the, lesser superheroes, I guess. There's Black Canary, and he ends up taking her out by covering her face so that she can't use her powers. Green Arrow, he breaks all his arrows so that he can't use them. But, the one that really bothered me was that Flash was there. And it's implied that he was able to predict what Flash would do, so he planted explosions all around him. Flash was able to run around all the explosions, so he's fast enough to, I guess, see where all the explosions were. But then, we get Flash or Deathstroke. He kind of puts his sword under, behind his back so that Flash runs into it. And it's like, wouldn't he have fucking known or seen that? He can fucking see explosions, but can't see a sword sticking out from behind your back. And then there was Green Lantern. How, he dealt with him by breaking his hand with the ring on it. And I don't know if it's implying that that kind of affected Green Lantern's will, which made the ring weaker or whatever. Or if, like, his hand was, his hand had to be a functioning hand for it to work. I don't know if they explained that really, or I don't know if it was implied or what, but it was just like, it felt like to take out the most powerful ones, they kind of had to just stretch the limits of reasonability, given, you know, their powers. So that's kind of annoyed me. So we kind of also get these moments, which I don't know, I feel like they only introduced them so that they can further the plot. For example, Boomerang, you know, he's just like, he's like, I guess he's deadbeat dad, but then he finds out he has a kid and he wants to go see him, and then the kid is fairly goddamn ready to take, you know, perfectly alright with his father being a criminal, and so he automatically decides, hey, I'm going to be just like you, and so he uses his, you know, boomerang, teaches him how to use his boomerangs. And then, although there's this plot about how his, you know, mother was Golden Glider or something like that, but it turns out his mother's in Golden Glider because the Boomerang kid has these other powers. I don't know. It doesn't really, it just felt like they introduced him to introduce another Boomerang in it. Well, they eventually find out that Sue did not die from smoke inhalation. She in fact ended up dying from a blockage to the brain, and it has this really creepy ass scene whenever who was it? It's not Adam, it was someone else. I can't remember who it was, but they have this like little picture of her brain with two little footprints on it, and that was like so creepy to me. So they figure out that someone small had to have gone to her brain and caused a blockage in her brain. And of course, the only person who has these powers are Adam. So that's when he figures out who exactly had killed Sue. And then we flash to him. He's with his ex, and they're kind of getting frisky. And then it's revealed that Jean's talking about the, you know, what's happening with him, and she mentions how she mentions a letter that had been sent to Lois Lane, and that's when Adam realizes, because, you know, he realizes that no one had told anyone about that letter, and so he realizes she's the one who killed Sue. But let's be honest, who else the fuck would it be? You know, there's Adam, who can shrink, so who else would have, like, any contact with him or know anywhere his suits would be? So I felt like he should have realized it sooner, like right after he realized someone was small enough to cause a blockage in the brain. Well, turns out that the reason for why Jean, his ex, did all of this was because she wanted to be closer, or she wanted Adam back. And so she shrunk herself, was able to travel through the phone lines into Sue's, you know, ear, of course, and get into her brain. And she wanted to just cause, I don't know, I think she just wanted to, you know, let her to pass out or some shit like that. But she made herself too big, and it caused a blockage in her brain, and she ended up dying from it. And they find out that Sue's the one who killed them all, and they end up putting her in an asylum. I think it was like Gotham. Was it Gotham? I can't remember what the asylum name was. I think it's the one in Gotham. But yeah, and then we get the ending scene where, you know, everyone's trying to deal with having lost loved ones, or kind of get these people appreciating their loved ones. And so, yeah, so that was Identity Crisis. There were some things, like I said, that annoyed me, that felt very much, sometimes I feel like comic books have the habit of going easy, or trying to find the easy way out, instead of really kind of trying to really create a great story. you know, they have to make things happen, and so they ultimately either strengthen or weaken characters based on that. And it just, that's one of the things that annoys me. As an adult, I do kind of have issues with it, but as I was reading through it, kind of things kept popping up. I remember things that was going to happen because I read it when I was younger, and so it's kind of nostalgic, and it is memorable. I'll say that. So yeah, so that was my review on Identity Crisis. So yeah, if you liked this video, give it a like, subscribe to get a notification for all the videos I'll be doing. You guys have a nice night, stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.